Today, the update has the pleasure of hearing from Howard Gayle, an ex-professional footballer who played for many top teams in the UK and was notably Liverpool FC's first ever black player. More recently, he's been working with the organisation Show Racism the Red Card to tackle racism in football. Thank you for being with us here.
Thank you.
Howard.
Thank you for doing that.
Firstly, do you think racism is less prominent in football nowadays compared to when you were playing?
I think it is, yeah. It's actually a criminal offence now to shout racial comments at whether it be at a football ground or whether it be on the streets. But most football clubs now are conscious about their brand, and there are a lot of cameras now inside stadia. So maybe that the source or the punishment may not be immediate, but the authorities and the club officials can go back to any incident and identify the culprits and take according action. But as regards to inside football stadia, yeah, things have changed and got better.
You've worked closely with football's anti-racism organisation, Show Racism the Red Card. Can you describe some of the work you do for them? Yeah,
well, I've been a campaigner for Red Card for over 20 years now. I've always campaigned against racism and diversity, and I've always been outspoken as a football player. And I also do some work I'm also an ambassador for Kick Racism Out of Football, Kick It Out. So it's something again which is very strong within my heart, and it's something again which I'm really interested in.
Were you discriminated against at any of the clubs you played at, and if so, was it from the fans, teammates or coaches?
Yeah, I was discriminated against at Liverpool when I first arrived there by a guy called a player called Tommy Smith, and for me, before the racial discrimination, he was an idol of mine. Worshipped him, but that quickly changed with the attitude that he showed to me. It was common. Going away from Liverpool, away fans or playing football, is that you were always the subject of the target of fans because you were an easy target. On many occasions, again, I'd be the only black player on a pitch, so again, I became the obvious target as well as the easiest one.
Do you view racism in sport any differently than out of sport? And do you think racism in sport, especially in football, has declined as a result of general public opinion changing? Or as a result of individuals like you making a stand?
I think this is where a lot of people get mixed up. Racism is a problem of society. It's not sport. Football does more than any other organisation in trying to eradicate racism from its stadia, from its workplace, and from within inside the clubs. But again, a racist can turn up on a Saturday afternoon going to watch a match, and he doesn't shout any abuse or doesn't shout or show any intention of being a racist, but as soon as that game's over, he can go back to being who he is. So as a parameter or judging again on how far we've come over the past 20 to 25 years, again, the margins are very, very small, and with the events of a lot of the issues that are going on around the world today, you would think that racism is on the up.
So how do you think racism should be approached or dealt with?
It's simple. Again, the work that we do at Show Racism a Red Card again is that we go into schools, into primary schools, and we work with young people, and we show them the values of friendship, of team play, and that's a great attribute of football. But educating people from a young age and bringing them up with that tolerance and that understanding and celebration of different cultures is that they can't get set into a mindset, whereas if you ask a 15 or a 16-year-old person to change their views again, it's really, really hard. It's normally like maybe a life-threatening incident that would maybe change somebody's views again on racism. But I think the way forward is educating young people from an early age and showing them the values of tolerance and understanding of all the different cultures of around the world.
And how far do you think we still have to go to completely eradicate racism from football?
Well, again, as I say, it goes back to the question again I just answered again. Racism is not a problem for football. football does do with show racism a red card, with kick it out. UEFA and FIFA have the respect campaign where they get all of the top stars again to voice their support for the respect on Champions League games. So I don't think it's a problem for football. It's obviously a problem for society and the effects of society and the implications of racism within the streets of Switzerland, Britain, Spain, Germany, or whatever, are all affected by the common issue today, which is migration.
All right. In 2016, you were nominated for an MBE and you turned it down. So this isn't something many people do. What were your reasons for doing this?
Well, it was two again, and I would document it again. That the main reason for me was my ancestry. Again, I'm an ancestor of Africa. In fact, we all are, and a lot of the atrocities that were afforded to Africans as a result of the slave trade, which was invoked by empire, then it would have been a kind of like a bad thing for me to do, to accept an MBE, a member of a British Empire, subject to a lot of the things that had gone on in the past. And the second one was Hillsborough. The people of Liverpool fought for 27 years against the system that habitually told lies about what happened on that day. And it's only over the last 7 or 8 months where the truth has come out, where the people of Liverpool have been vindicated in their actions on that day, 27 years ago. It's now 28 years ago. So for me, again, as I say, the establishment has a lot to offer and a lot to apologise to for the people of Liverpool.
So what was your fondest memory from your footballing career?
Signing for Liverpool. Again, I supported them home and away. I was an avid follower. I just absolutely loved the club, and supporting Liverpool is a way of life. And we've got a huge family. I think it's around 600 million fans worldwide, globally. And I think there's only possibly Manchester United, and maybe a little smile went on your face there. You're obviously a United fan, who've got that global brand. There's nobody in the UK who's got anywhere near us.
All right. And what do you think your greatest challenge as a player was?
Was establishing myself as a footballer, trying to improve the skills that I'd adopted, trying to get better. But also, again, because football is such a competitive game, and I've been brought up or used to winning at Liverpool, is that, again, winning trophies is a challenge, is a huge challenge.
Finally, as a Liverpool fan, what do you think Liverpool's chances look like for next season?
Hopefully that they're better than this season. I actually thought that with us not being involved in Europe this season, that we'd be in the position that Chelsea are in. But we've kind of like fallen short over the last 3 or 4 months, and I think the saving grace for Jurgen Klopp is that that team is not his. There's only 2 players, I think, who he's actually bought, and hopefully again he's going to get a huge war chest in the summer, and we're going to bring players in who are Liverpool players, who can handle the pressure of being a Liverpool player, and that means every game. And you can't just turn up and think, well, we can beat Everton on the Wednesday and draw against Bournemouth. Sorry, beat Everton on a Saturday and draw against Bournemouth the following Wednesday. And these are the things that we need to iron out. And if we were beating all of those lower teams, we'd have been up there right behind Chelsea. But that's where we fell short. And I think it's making the players know who they play for, and that every game playing for Liverpool is a big game. You can't just pick and choose who they are.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Eula.